A liner, touchdown, he's gone into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
You want to talk sports? You logged on to the right place. The John Ech Show on 247miami.tv.
Oh, look at him get the nice block by the tight end, Sims, and he's off to the races. Going deep. Oh, he's got Jennings. What a catch and what a throw. They beat Leonard Johnson. Tannehill, touchdown. Devontae Parker beats Devin McCourty. 1st and 10. They're going deep, and they're looking for Parker, and he caught the ball on a ricochet. Beating Logan Ryan. 2nd down and goal at the 2. Landry in motion. They've got the tight end. Cameron, touchdown. They need the 35. 3rd and 13. Ninkovich pressuring, as is Sheard. Here comes Tannehill. He's got the 1st down and more. Brady is done, and here is Garoppolo, who will finish off the game for New England. The Dolphins with 10 unanswered 4th quarter points. The Dolphin defense holds the Patriots to 20 yards in the 4th quarter.
Oh, yeah.
All right, the John Ech Show right here on 247miami.tv. Great production work by Mikey Mike here. Even though we were off for, what, 2 weeks?
Yep.
You were a little rusty.
Yeah, I know. A little tiny bit, but
a little nervous there, but we got it through.
That's what happens when you have, 3 weeks off?
I think it was 2 weeks off. But we had to, we had to celebrate Christmas.
Yeah. Holidays.
Celebrate New Year's, family time. But I'm happy to be back. Welcome to all who are listening right now, right here on 247miami.tv. You can also listen on YouTube. As soon as you log on to 247miami.tv, we're live on YouTube. And also, if you're riding around with your windows down, you could go on your smartphones, and I'm sure you have the TuneIn app. If not, just download the TuneIn app, and you could just search 247 Miami, and you could get the John Ech Show and also the other shows that are on this awesome website, 247miami.tv. So we just heard some clips there of the Dolphins win yesterday. The Dolphins won 20-10 over the New England Patriots. And the Patriots, even though some people were saying that, and I don't believe this, Mike, and I'm sure you don't believe it either, but that the Patriots weren't really playing that hard. But they needed to win, because if they would have won that game yesterday, Mike, they would have home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they were playing, right?
Yeah. No. They. Oh man. Okay.
Don't blow your load. Don't blow your whole load yet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna blow my whole load. No, I think. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they were gonna come to play, and I thought it was gonna be a huge butt whooping on the Patriots' part, but because they needed to win this game,
of course,
to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, which they usually have, I think.
Yeah,
like over the past couple of years.
Traditionally, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought they were going to come to play and beat up on the Dolphins, but at the same time, as the game went on, they just kept running the ball and running the ball and running the ball. And I was like, okay, that's smart, because the Dolphins' rush defense is pretty awful this year. But even in 3rd and long situations, I think in the first half there were 3 3rd and long situations, like 3rd and 10, and 3rd and 8, and I think one of them was like 3rd and 15, and they still ran the ball. And I'm like, okay, these Patriots are not playing like the smart Belichick Patriots that I usually see.
Yeah, it seemed like they didn't. So, well, I don't know. I don't want to take the win away from the Dolphins.
Yeah. It was nice to enjoy, because
exactly.
I mean, geez, there wasn't much to enjoy this season.
Right, 6-10 season, but Brady threw for 20. He threw 21 times, completed 12 times completions, and he threw for 134 yards, no touchdowns. And Tannehill had a pretty good game. He was. Let's see here. He was 25 for 38 for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns. So that was pretty impressive for.
Yeah, he actually had a good game.
He did.
Yeah, because they were going back and forth. Tannehill was making plays, and
And how about Devontae
showing
Parker,
up.
man?
Yeah.
Great game by Devontae Parker.
Parker's going to be a beast. Like, Tano actually had a really good game yesterday, and you know how much I hate on him, but I mean, I gotta give him some credit.
Yeah, and we'll get to the Dolphins, and we all know that we're looking for a coach, and there's been already a couple interviews already being set up, and we'll get to that a little later during the show. But tonight we got the Heat and the Pacers. The Pacers are in town. That's a 7:30 start at the AAA. The Heat are favored at 1.5 points. The Heat have trouble against the Pacers every time they confront them. So hopefully the Heat could come out with a win tonight right here at the AAA. That starts at 7:30. Troy Hall will join the show at 3:30. He's going to be talking college football. You can follow him on Twitter at SportsHeadsPicks with an X. And at 4 o'clock, the mayor, all the way from NYC, from New York City. He's on Mixler.com every Tuesday from 8 to 10. And you can follow him on Facebook After Further Review, and on Twitter, Left Handed. He'll be on the show at 4 o'clock talking NFL, talking NBA, and he's really good on the show. But going back to the Dolphins win, I don't want to take anything away from the Dolphins win because it was a good win. They won 20 to 10 at Sun Life Stadium. The search has begun. First, there's several candidates already being thrown out there, and we'll get to those candidates a little later during the show. And the interviews are already set up. I'm surprised that one of them, Mike Shanahan.
Yeah,
Mike
Shanahan, the red-faced devil himself.
He hasn't been in coaching for 2 years. Last time he coached was with the Redskins, and he got fired. And he got into that big dilemma with RG3. But he's going to be interviewed this week. So we'll see what happens with that.
Did it say what teams were interested in him?
Not really.
Or he was just announcing that he's eligible.
Right. And then the team came out. The Dolphins came out saying that the interview is already set up for. I wrote it down here somewhere.
I think Dan Campbell got an interview.
Right. He's getting one on Friday.
Yeah.
And then Shanahan's getting one tomorrow.
Ooh.
An interview on Tuesday for Mike Shanahan, and we'll get to the other guys that are also candidates.
I don't know how I feel about Shanahan.
He might be a little bit washed up, but
yeah, I think he's washed up too. I mean,
but he's an offensive-minded coach, man. He's won 2 Super Bowls.
So was Bill Lazor.
Bill Lazor was not proven, and Philbin was not a proven guy. Mike Shanahan's a proven guy, man.
I know,
2 Super Bowl wins.
I know, but I think about it, his days with the Redskins. I mean, it didn't really go too well over there, and
he got a lot of money over there. He got $7 million a year, and he walked into a bad situation. I think the RG3. I'm sure he wanted Cousins. There was even reports coming out saying that he wanted Cousins instead of RG3, but RG3 was getting paid so much money. He was a first-round draft pick. They wanted to play him, so as we all know, the Washington Redskins are in the playoffs now, and led by Kirk Cousins and now RG3. In the AFC, the New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos have first-round byes, and they're going to be sitting out the first week of the playoffs. And January 9th, on Saturday, we got 2 games, 2 wild-card games, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Houston Texans, Mike. The Houston Texans, were the Dolphins just totally destroyed the Texans. The Dolphins played 2 teams that are in the playoffs that have won their divisions respectively.
Yeah,
they beat Washington Redskins the first game of the year, and then they destroyed the Texans when Campbell, his first game as the head coach of the Dolphins.
That just shows you how many things could change from the beginning of the season towards the end, because it looked in the beginning of the season or maybe midway through it,
right?
The Texans looked like they were going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL this year, and
no quarterback. Yeah,
and they won the division, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they won the division.
It was crazy how things went around because they were getting whooped bad. I think in one game they were getting whooped by the Falcons 40-0 or something. It's
a bad division, but you got to give it to them. They won the
their
division.
Defense started coming along the last couple of weeks.
You're right.
It's pretty crazy stuff.
So that's on Saturday, January 9th, Kansas City versus the Houston Texans. And Kansas City is a 3-point favorite on the road. That's a 4:35 start. And also on Saturday, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who I'm wearing their fitted cap, and then I'll tell you the reason why I'm wearing this hat, versus the Cincinnati Bengals with A.J. McCarron. And that's at 8:15 on Saturday. And Pittsburgh favored by 2.5 points over the Cincinnati Bengals. In the NFC, the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals have first-round byes, deservedly so. Carolina's probably – would you say Carolina's the best team in football? Even though they lost 2 weeks ago against the Atlanta Falcons?
I think I think they're playing. I think they're one of the teams that are playing the best football. But I as an overall team,
Yeah.
I can't really buy into the Panthers because of the wide receiving core.
Okay.
I mean, even though Cam Newton's carrying them, and
Mhm.
I mean, props to him. I mean,
their defense is
he's
really
throwing
good.
to nobody, and he really stepped his game up to like an elite status level.
Right.
But I don't know, man. It's hard for me to really. I mean, not that they're not a good team. They are a good team. It's just I don't know. The Cardinals are still
You're not
one of my
convinced.
favorites in the NFC. Like the Cardinals, the Seahawks.
You
Right?
think the Cardinals could beat the Panthers?
I think so. I think they have more talent on their team.
If the game was in Carolina, who would you take?
If the game was in Carolina,
Yeah, Arizona at Carolina.
man, that's oh my god, that would be really tough to play.
You think Arizona could go in there and beat them? I think Arizona has a
they'd
better
have
chance.
a nice chance.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, they're really similar teams. I just think the Cardinals have more power on offense.
Yep. So Carolina and the Arizona Cardinals have the first round byes. And then on Sunday, the 10th of January, we got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Minnesota Vikings. Seattle's favored by 5.5. That's a 105 start. Wow, the Seattle Seahawks are very, very hot coming into the playoffs, Mike. And Minnesota won last night. They beat up Green Bay, which I think Green Bay is just they're gonna get crushed.
Yeah, they just feel like they got off to the 6-0 start or whatever it was, and since then it just feels like they've just been like kind of scraping by. Yep. I mean, think about it. They went 6-0 and then they ended up what 10-6.
Yeah,
right. They lost last night, right?
Yeah, they lost against the Vikings.
Are they 9-7 now?
So let's see. I'm looking at they're 10-5.
Oh, they're 10-5.
Yeah, they lost the division.
So then they're 10-6 because they lost last night.
Yeah, you're right. They're 10-6.
Okay. So basically, if you think about it, after that 6-0 start, they've only won 4 games since then.
Right.
So they've just been really just scraping by towards the end of the season. I don't know, man. Like Aaron Rodgers, he's been carrying them, but like the wide receivers don't help. Like if you look at their stats, like they don't get a lot of catches throughout the game. That sometimes they could run the ball, but not really. I don't know.
I saw that game yesterday. We complain about the line here in Miami, and which is really bad. But the line in Green Bay is pretty bad too, man. Rodgers was running all over the place, and he was sacked a couple times. So I think Green Bay got in there. I don't believe in luck, but they got in there by the skin of their teeth. But they play Minnesota. I'm sorry, Seattle plays Minnesota. That's on Saturday at 105. Seattle's a 5.5-point favorite. Then Green Bay plays Washington in Washington, and Washington's favored by 1. That's at 4:40. That's on Sunday. And we're going to get to your predictions. We'll get to my predictions of who are going to win these games probably in the last segment of our show. Peyton Manning replaced Osweiler in the third quarter, Mike. Even though we were talking about this before the show started, how he was just there just to maintain or just to not make any mistakes. The team, but he came in the third quarter and led the Broncos to a 27-20 win over the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah. I was actually excited when they announced it because
it's pretty cool.
I mean, I was watching the Red Zone, so I wasn't sure how bad or good Osweiler was playing. I think did he throw a couple of interceptions?
Yeah, he did throw a couple of interceptions.
Or did he throw
he wasn't
4?
playing bad, and he wasn't playing good.
Yeah, so I figured they probably thought that they had a playoff spot already clinched.
Yeah. Kubiak told Peyton Manning during halftime, "Can you go?" And Manning said yes.
Yeah.
So they put him in.
Because the debate was in the media whether or not, if Osweiler plays out this game and wins it or whatever, if they should still just switch to Peyton Manning in the playoffs. And I thought that would kind of be a bad decision because, you can't just change quarterbacks just because, like right when the playoffs start, because then you lose kind of all the chemistry between one quarterback with his receivers and the other quarterback with his receivers. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be that chemistry that's not there yet because you're adjusting how one quarterback plays compared to the other one. And but if they were going to go that route, it's good that Peyton Manning at least got to start like half the game.
Yeah, came in the third quarter.
Yeah, he came in the third quarter for half the game. So that way at least it gives a little bit of like real game experience to the receivers adjusting from Osweiler to him again. He
threw 9 times, completed 5 passes for 59 yards, no TDs, no interception. He was sacked 1 time. But what's your opinion on I'm a big believer that you don't lose your starting job because of an injury.
Yeah.
So in a way, I kind of, I'm happy that Peyton Manning's back, that he's probably going to start. He has 2 weeks to prepare for whoever they play. But I don't know. I still, what happened to the first couple of weeks when everybody was saying that he couldn't throw the ball, that he was not mobile, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, he's back, so we're ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what happened? We were killing Peyton Manning.
Yeah, we were
like
killing him.
a couple months ago, we were killing him. That he couldn't throw. That they should bench him.
I still didn't really see him throw the ball yesterday. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like, he made some good reads. He's like, oh, okay, they're in this kind of defense. I'm going to hand it off. And he kind of like, he threw the ball, but he didn't throw any like long passes that made you think that he has his arm back to, old Peyton. I mean, I just think he could maybe manage the game a little bit better than Osweiler, but there's throws that Osweiler can still make that Peyton can't right now. But I think they're going to go the safe and conservative route, just saying, oh, Peyton is just the smarter player. And hopefully he could take care of the ball a little bit better.
I can't wait to hear when they lose and they say, oh, Osweiler should have been in there.
And our defense will carry us.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Hopefully we'll be able to run the ball enough so that we don't have to rely on Peyton throwing it too much.
But the defense, Denver's defense, I truly believe Denver's defense is good enough to take them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can compare them to the Ravens when they had a great defense and Trent Dilfer was an okay quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And we could say Peyton Manning's an okay quarterback now.
Yeah.
So, and with New England being beat up, you never know.
Yeah.
So how about the Jets?
And plus it's also a totally different league from the 2000 Ravens till now.
For
because,
sure.
If you think about it, back then in 2000, I mean, who were all the good quarterbacks? Like I can only think of maybe
Peyton Manning was.
Was Elway retired?
Elway was retired by then.
There weren't any.
What year was that? What are you talking about?
2000.
When the Ravens won?
Yeah, because it's easier to go into the playoffs and just playing defense and running the ball when there's no other real quarterback competition.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, every team that gets into the playoffs has a quarterback, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, the Ravens defense in that year they won the Super Bowl is considered one of the best defense of all times. Compared with the Bears '85 defense. And other teams that had great defenses like that. How about the Jets? They finished the season 10-6, do not make the playoffs. Round of applause.
Was that? Oh my God! The Dolphins win and the Jets get knocked out of the playoffs. I mean,
and Buffalo beats them. Rex Ryan, he's the coach of the Jets.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy because when you look at it as a Dolphins fan, it's like, oh, my team won. It's like. The Jets are a good team this year, but all we could hope for is just them not making the playoffs, just so they're just basically in the same boat as us.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? And they do, and they lost
10 wins, and they don't make the playoffs.
They had it.
Oh man! And Fitzpatrick threw that clutch interception at the end there. Oh man,
yeah, he had a couple of interceptions.
Yeah, a couple of interceptions. Now, Pittsburgh had to win, which they did. They beat the Browns, and the Jets had to win. So if both teams would have won, the Jets would have gotten in, but. The Jets lost against Buffalo, and Rex Ryan was happy. He was hugging all his ex-players.
Good. I think it's a great story.
It is.
You beat your former team and knocked them out of the playoffs. But I mean, I still don't. I mean, Rex Ryan, man. I just don't really believe in him. I just think he's like a lot of hot air sometimes. And he's just I don't know. He's nothing great to me as a coach. Like they always mention his name, like he's one of the brilliant minds. I'm like,
no. A brilliant mind.
Well, I mean, defensively, you know what I mean?
Well, he's a good motivator.
He's a good motivator, and he's like a good defensive mind.
Yeah, defensive minded coach. Yeah.
I mean, how good's the Bills' defense this year?
It was pretty good, but not good enough to make the playoffs.
I guess.
Yeah. And then they still don't have a quarterback.
I think their secondary's in the 20s.
Yeah. Yep. You need a quarterback. I think that Tyrod Taylor was not, and then not Geno Smith. Who was it?
EJ Manuel.
EJ Manuel was not.
Yeah, he's horrible.
Yeah, he's horrible.
Tyrod Taylor was a pleasant surprise for them.
Yeah, he was. He played pretty good.
I was actually kind of low on him, but he just kept shutting me up throughout the year.
Did the Bills beat the Dolphins twice?
Yeah, they did.
Jeez.
Yeah, the Dolphins were 0-6 in the what? No, they're 1-5 in the division.
They beat the Patriots.
Yeah. Oh, they were gonna be 0-6.
I can't believe the Jets and the Bills swept the Dolphins this year. Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. Switching gears to the college football. The Clemson versus Alabama in the championship game. We're going to talk to Troy Hall, a little later, and he's going to give us his opinion on who he likes in that game. Alabama's favored by 7 over Clemson Tigers, and University of Miami Hurricanes football coach Mr. Mark Richt looks like he's almost has his coaching staff set, ready to go. He named Manny Diaz Jr. as defensive coordinator from Mississippi State, and he also hired a couple other guys, and we'll get to him. We'll get to that a little later when we talk to Troy. Our Kehoe fan favorite down here and strength coach for the University of Miami, Andrew Swayze, were let go, and Swayze was with the team for a long time, and a lot of the ex-players came out on Twitter saying they were sad to see him go because he was one of their, he was their strength coach while they were there. Santana Moss came out saying that he felt sad for Swayze, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Al Kehoe, who's won 5 national championships with the Miami Hurricanes, was let go for another coach coming from Virginia Tech. I forgot his name. That he will be the offensive line coach here at the University of Miami. The Miami Heat blew out the Washington Wizards last night, 97-75. Chris Bosh had 23 points. Dragic, who's playing very well now, had a shaky start to the season, but he's playing very well. He's being more aggressive. He's shooting the 3 a little better. He had 18 points. Gerald Green had 15 points. And Dwayne Wade only had 8 points. Dwayne Wade's still bothered with his injured hip, which hopefully it gets better. And I'm very happy that Wade has been playing. He's only missed 2 games. And last year he's missed it was over 30 games that he missed. So hopefully Dwayne Wade can stay healthy so that he can stay on top of their division. They're in first place right now, tied with the Atlanta Hawks. In my opinion, Bosh is the MVP of the team so far. His shooting threes has been pretty remarkable. He's getting so much better shooting threes. He's playing more aggressive inside and outside the paint. And Whiteside, who was rumored to be traded a couple weeks ago, is on pace to break Alonzo Mourning's record of blocks. He has 132 blocks right now for the Heat. But I still think the Heat are going to trade him somewhere because there's no way the Heat are going to give him the money that he wants at the end of the season.
Is he really asking for a lot?
Well, he's only getting $800,000. And he's going to be asking for a lot of money.
I mean, it all depends. I mean, does he want to sacrifice money for staying in a winning organization?
What'd you do? You want $10 million, or you want to play at a team where it's a mediocre team?
Dude, man, I don't know. If I was a player and I was,
don't say you're gonna be loyal to your team because that's $10 million.
I would want to win. I wouldn't want to think about it. 10 million compared. I'd be happy just to get $10 million. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's a very comfortable living, 10 million. And then I stay and I have fun winning. I mean,
but he could go to a team getting that money. That's going to be a good team. It doesn't have to be a bad team. It could be a good team that wants to pay that money.
Well, how much money do you think he's
worth?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. He's going to ask for at least $10 million a year for sure. This guy's unbelievable. He's on, like I said, he has 132 blocks and he's on pace to break Alonzo Mourning's record of blocks, which is
is it a salary cap problem? If he stays with the Heat, how do you know how much the Heat would be able to offer them?
Well, he's a free agent after this year, and once you're a free agent, you could entertain different offers from different teams, and I don't think the Heat is going to give him the money that he wants, because again, the league is not a center-driven league anymore. It's more of a fast-paced league, shooting threes, playing a lot of defense, and he's not one of those type of players. He's just a guy that blocks shots, and he's a guy that just rebounds. Yeah.
But you don't know how much the Heat would be.
No, it hasn't come out yet.
Willing to offer him? Or?
No, it hasn't come out yet. But I think they're thinking about trading him, and hopefully they get something for him before he just leaves to another team, and the Heat will not get anything for him. I already mentioned the Heat are back in town against the Pacers tonight at the AAA. That's a 7:30 start. The Pacers have limited the Heat to an average of 85 points in the last 2 wins. Also, good news, Winslow was back yesterday. He returned after 3 games with an ankle injury. And he's very important for the Heat. He plays a lot of defense, shoots 3. And Mike, should we get into hockey, man? Did you hear about the hockey Panthers?
Yeah.
9 in a row? 9 in a row. The Florida Hockey Panthers, first place in the division. Unbelievable.
Woo!
I used to be into hockey when I used to live in Chicago, but now I totally lost my interest in hockey. But you think we should go to a game? Start wearing the jerseys or something?
I like going to hockey games.
Really?
I like going to any.
I've been to one hockey game down here. That was the one that was around here at the Miami Arena back in the days in the 90s.
Yeah, my friend, he's a really he plays hockey, on a team for fun.
Yeah.
And also he does follow the Panthers a lot. And he was telling, and last year I went to a game with him, and he was telling me that like this team, like last year's team wasn't that great,
right?
But they had a lot of like promising talent.
Oh yeah.
And I guess that's all coming together this year.
Yes.
So they're all young, pretty much, except for a couple veteran players. Like
Jaromir Jagr's 42 years old.
Yeah.
He's still,
but he's still playing.
Oh, he's playing
really
excellent. Yes,
yeah.
He's playing excellent.
So yeah, I mean, I'm down to go to hockey games. Let's do it.
Can I point you to start writing down notes about the Florida Panthers?
I get it. That's the thing. I could write down notes. Do I know enough about hockey to?
The thing is, I don't know what channel they come on. What I think they come on Florida Fox Sports. I don't know what it is.
I used to watch the Panthers, but it's been years since I actually kind of watched games.
I'm gonna have to get into it.
Yeah, I mean, they used to play on it was like FSN or
I think that's what it is. FS something. Fox Sports
Network.
Florida or something like that. I don't know what it is. All right,
hey, but support your Panthers,
of course. 23-12 is their record. They won 9 in a row. All right, if you want to look for a good place to play or to play pool, if you want to go there, play pool. But if you want to look for a great place to have a drink after work or to watch the games, play pool, poker, or a place just to hang out, I have a place for you. The name of the place is called Jada Co's. Jada Co's Bar is in Miami, 2845 Coral Way. They have happy hour from 4 to 8. On Mondays, they got poker night. And they also have this thing called the In the Biz Night where you get 50% off those in the hospitality business. Live music on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think even George West, professor, I think ex-professor here at Connecticut School of Broadcasting, has a band with Craig Cook, and then they might be jamming out at Jada Cole's soon. I hooked them up with Terry Cocalis, see if they could go out there and play out there. On Wednesday, they have this thing called Open Mic by Soulmatics. Friday's a live DJ. His name is DJ Del Swagga. And on Saturdays, they got karaoke night. Karaoke night is a big night out there. A lot of people like to go out there. I got to take Mikey Mike out there to karaoke night so he can sing his Bruce Springsteen songs.
I got my voice back, too.
Really?
I kind of lost it? Yeah, because I think it was like Festivus I lost it. Because my cousin threw this Festivus party, and I got like super drunk.
Whoa.
And I kind of lost my voice for a couple days.
Sundays, ladies' night, all night, $5. Anything that you want at the bar, $5 for all the women that walk into Jada Cole's bar. They have trivia night also at 9 o'clock with Lacey Brooks. Say hi to Terry, Scotty, Gus, Lacey, Shelby, and Brittany. Those are your bartenders behind the bar. Jada Cole's Bar, 2845 Coral Way, happy hour from 4 to 8. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just search Jada Cole's Bar. I forgot the theme of the show. The theme of the show is Thank God the Dolphins season is over. And the sub-theme is, where's it at? We got to find Mikey Mike a girlfriend in 2016.
No. I've been seeing somebody. I don't know. I mean, she'll probably break my heart in the end. Like,
stop it.
They all do, but I'm enjoying
it. Follow Mike Hernandez on Facebook. He's the funniest guy on Facebook. He writes the funniest things on Facebook.
No, please don't follow me.
No,
I didn't make a professional Facebook site.
All right, when we come back, we got Troy Hall. We're going to be talking college football. All right, the website's 247miami.tv. We're on YouTube, tune in the app, and we're also on we used to be on Periscope, but not anymore. But follow us on Twitter, The John Ech Show, Facebook, The John Ech Show. So keep it locked right here. This is The John Ech Show.
Season of Metal and Mayhem this fall right here on 247miami.tv. Follow me on Twitter at @RealCraigCook to submit your requests and have all your feedback made fun of live on the air. Metal and Mayhem, Fridays this fall, 247miami.tv.
You know why we pulled you over?
Was it because I was speeding?
No. It's because you weren't listening to the...
Tune in Thursdays at 8 p.m. on 247 Miami.
This is Wilma Shakespeare,
Anger,
and Disaster Chief
from Miami's Vice City Rollers, inviting you to tune in to Ring Crash Radio on 247miami.tv. New shows every Saturday at 9 p.m.
with encore replays Monday at noon and 10 p.m., Tuesdays at 10 a.m.,
and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and again at 10 p.m.
Find out everything you've ever wanted to know about roller derby in the 305.
Get the 411 on the women's team,
the men's team,
and even the juniors.
Ring Crash Radio.
Rink Rash Radio.
Rink Rash Radio.
On 247miami.tv.
Calor y sabor. Todos los jueves a las 6 de la tarde, con tu amiga Diana Carolina, te traigo Sabor de Miami, un show de entretenimiento, desde noticias hasta un Throwback Thursday. No te lo pierdas, 1 hora de calor y sabor, aquí en 24/7 Miami.
Hi guys, I'm James. I'm Adrian. We've got some very exciting news about our upcoming show,
Cannon Fire.
What are we going to talk about, Adrian?
We're going to talk about everything science fiction.
So, movies?
Yes.
Video games?
Yes.
TV shows?
Checkmate on that.
Awesome. We're also going to be seen around our local comic book events. So you're going to see us at a lot of cons, hopefully at some of the comic book shops around town.
Hopefully they be giving free stuff and we'll let you know about it.
That'd be awesome. And we've also got some interviews lined up for you guys. So please remember to check us out on 247miami.tv.
And like us on Facebook.
It's time.
Oh yeah, it's that time of year. It's football season. You know what else that means? It's fantasy football season. Tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. for Fantasy Frauds, with replays starting at 5 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You can only hear it here on 247miami.tv.
All right, welcome back to the show, the John Ech Show, 247miami.tv. It's college football time with Troy Hall. You catch Troy Hall on Twitter. Sportsheads Picks. That's at Sportsheads Picks. Troy Hall, Happy New Year's.
Hey, Happy New Year.
What's going on, my man? How was your Christmas? How was your holidays? Everything good?
Christmas and New Year's were great. New Year's was even better because I didn't have to work.
Good.
More games.
Of course. Were you disappointed with the bowl games this year, Troy?
Did I do what?
Were you disappointed with the bowl games this year?
I was disappointed in the amount of close games and the quality bowl games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Big time.
Who were the big winners? What conference, in your opinion, was the big winner in these bowl games?
The SEC was the big winner. There was talk going into bowl season that maybe the SEC wasn't as strong as it had been the last few years, and I think they answered that. They're 8-2 with a chance to be 9-2, I think.
Right. SEC 8 wins so far, possible with 9. The Pac-12 had 6 wins. Then came the Big Ten with 5, the ACC with 4, and the Big 12 with 3. Congratulations, first of all, to your West Virginia Mountaineers winning that close game there on, was it Saturday night?
Yeah, late. So it was actually Sunday morning. It finished about 2:15 in the morning, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure you stayed up for the whole game, didn't you?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I was out in a bar.
Wow. You at the bar watching the game?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Well, in Fort Lauderdale, where were you at?
I was in Tampa, actually.
Oh, you were in Tampa. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay.
I was watching with a bunch of West Virginia people, probably about 30 others.
Oh, good. All right, let's start with Coach Mark Rick here at the University of Miami. Is not totally set his assistant coaches staff yet, but he did hire a couple guys here and there. Let's start with defensive coordinator Manny Diaz coming from Mississippi State. Your opinions on Manny Diaz Jr.?
Manny Diaz is a good hire. He's under Mac Brown at Texas for 3 seasons before Mac fired him, I think, 2 games into the season a few years back. He gave up. I remember watching the game. They gave up like 500-something yards on the ground, I think, to BYU, and he fired them. But after that, he went to, I think he has a stint at Louisiana Tech for 1 year, 2014, where his defense was pretty good. They get a ton of turnovers. He coaches an aggressive 4-3 style defense. They blitz a lot. They try to get turnovers. I think it's a good fit. I think Miami's had enough of this 3-4 stuff down here.
Mm-hmm.
Miami's been a school that's perennially, but they've been able to get the big defensive linemen, and since they switched to this 3-4, they haven't. Let's be honest, big defensive linemen, they're coming out of high school. They don't want to play in 3-4s. They want to play in a 4-3 where they've got help up there and they're not getting just mauled by an offensive line. So I think it's a great hire. He did a pretty good job at Mississippi State, and he's a local guy. So Coach Rick's known him for a long time, since his days at Florida State.
Yeah, they said 20 years he's known Manny Diaz.
Yep, and Manny Diaz been a coach for 18 years in college at just about every level. So.
All right. The other four coaches he hired: running back coach Thomas Brown, defensive line coach Craig Kulagowski. Hopefully, I pronounced that right. Special teams coach Todd Hartley, and offensive assistant coach, his son John Rick. He's the head coach's son. And have you heard of these guys? What's your opinion on these guys that I just mentioned?
Well, I think also there's another major one in the last hour. He hired Mike Rump.
Right. I was going to get to that. Yep.
So he's going to coach. He's going to coach the corners. And the main thing is he's known all of these guys, and like all coaches do, they hire guys that they're comfortable with on a personal level. Because the one thing you need is the ability to work together and not have anybody. No tension between people. So he's just trying to piece together guys that he thinks is going to work together.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's done a great job so far. The main thing, Art Keogh's out of there.
Right.
Coley's out of there. I know he
Thank
got
God.
Strength coach. strength coach is
Swayze. He's out. Yep.
Been let go. Yeah, some of the former players aren't happy about it, but you know what? Screw them. It doesn't matter. You need a change. Everybody out. Interim coach is gone. He's leaving. He left to Tennessee, which to me is pretty good. I think Tennessee may be playoff caliber next year.
Yep.
So all the chips are falling into place.
Anything that you've heard of when it comes to college coaches leaving to the NFL? Have you Nick Saban's name been thrown around, and even Shaw's name from Stanford's been thrown around. Do you believe these guys are willing to make a change to the NFL?
Well, there's two guys that have been reported to throw their name out there that want to go to the pros. One's Jim Mora Jr.,
right,
and the other one is Kevin Sumlin.
Okay.
Unfortunately for them, I think both of them had bad years. They sucked this year.
Mm-hmm.
They underachieved. Their names were high on the list last year, both of them.
Right.
They're kind of looking to escape. Kevin Sumlin's lost, 2 5-star quarterbacks and just let go of his offensive coordinator. So I think he's on the hot seat this year for sure. The usual Saban rumblings are out there. Saban's going everywhere. Tom Coughlin lost his job.
Right.
Well, I guess technically he stepped down. He let the Giants know that he stepped down within the last hour or two, I think. And the Giants, there's rumors of Brian Kelly, but I think Brian Kelly wants total control. I don't see the Giants giving that up. But they'll probably contact him, I'm guessing. The Colts job would be something that, maybe Saban would be interested in, although I think Sean Payton may have interest in that. The Saints are shopping Payton. They said they want a 2nd-round pick,
right,
for Payton.
So
those are the coaches I would see. I don't know what to make of Saban going anywhere.
Yeah, I think. Do you see if the Colts do give Saban, let's say, $10 million and control of the whole organization? Do you think Saban will make a move like that? He has a great quarterback there, Andrew Luck.
Great quarterback there. Let's see. Does Saban win this title game? I think if he wins, I mean he's a guy, he wants challenge. You
Yeah.
know, I'm sure he's disappointed in how his other NFL experience was. Maybe if he gets total control with a quarterback like Luck. I mean, you see how bad the Colts are when they had a dinged up Luck, and then after he's gone too, they're not even in the playoffs. So
Right.
he's a major piece that makes that job real attractive.
Yeah. I think the highlight of all the bowl games, Troy, in my opinion, had to be Christian McCaffrey. What a game he had, 358 total yards. And the question for me to you is, if the Heisman voters had to vote again, do you think they would change their mind and vote for him instead of
I
Derrick
do.
Henry?
Yes, I definitely do think that, because Michigan State stuffed Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
He didn't do anything in his bowl game, and McCaffrey went wild.
right.
So I think definitely, yeah, they would. I think they would. You know, a lot of people didn't get to see McCaffrey because a lot of the East Coast guys are already sleeping. They say that every year about the guys on the West Coast.
Right.
Were they sleeping when Reggie Bush won it? I mean, there's been plenty of guys on the West Coast that won the Heisman. So, but I think he had such a great performance in the bowl game, and Henry, was stuffed. Michigan State obviously sold out against the run and said Coker's going to have to beat us. And Coker did beat him.
Yep. Yep.
But I think they would. Yeah, sure.
How about your coach at West Virginia? Is he safe? Are we safe to say that he's going to stay there for another year?
Yeah, he's there for another year for sure. I mean, I think he'd have been there even if they lost the bowl game. Didn't make sense to get rid of him. He's got a couple years on his contract. You'd have to pay him out quite a bit, and he's got a good recruiting class coming in. He just needs to find a quarterback. The kid had a big game in the bowl game, but he stinks to me. Holgerson's making the kid look. Anything he does well, Holgerson's the one that's making him look well. He doesn't even belong in Division I, so it's tough. He's got to find a quarterback. He's got the rest of the team in place to be real competitive. So, but he's safe.
All right. Before we get to the championship game on January 11th, Clemson versus Alabama. Alabama's a 7-point favorite. Let's get to your picks, Troy. You were 7-7. With all your picks, let's start with the first game. Auburn versus Memphis. Auburn was favored by 3. That was a win for you. Auburn won 31-10. And then you had you had the over in that game, and that went over.
Yep. I had the over in that one, right?
Yeah. Anyway, it went. Yeah. So
I just thought Auburn would win in the trenches, and they'd be able to. They've got better athletes than Memphis does. Maybe Memphis had a better system, but and they've got Paxton Lynch at quarterback. Auburn did a real good job against them, and honestly, I think that performance by Paxton Lynch may cost them about 10 spots in this draft. There's still a lot to be determined how his pro day goes or the combine. If he throws, he can get himself back up there. But I thought Auburn would win that game in the trenches and be able to run on Memphis, and that's pretty much how it worked out.
North Carolina State was getting 6 against Mississippi State. That was a loss for you, Troy. Mississippi State was favored by 6. The game was 51-28.
Yeah, I bet on the wrong quarterback in that game. I should have. Normally, I love Dak Prescott and played him a few times during the season, but I should have had faith in him again. I took Jacoby Brissett, and he started off the game with 2 picks. It was raining out, and Mississippi State's a better ground team. They look better across the board. Bad pick there. I totally misread that.
But you had the over 61.5, so you got that one right. The next game, Louisville versus Texas A&M. You like Louisville? That was a win. Louisville won 27-21.
Yeah, this Texas A&M has total chaos in that quarterback they have. Huberdeau, I think he came from junior college. He stinks. Just so much uncertainty with Texas A&M and Louisville it looks like they have things going. I like their quarterback Jackson, and their defense is pretty stout. So even though it was an ACC against an SEC team, Texas A&M their program's kind of going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, a couple of years ago they were pretty. Remember they were really good. Like was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? They were excellent.
Yeah, when Johnny Manziel was there as junior, and his I think sophomore and junior year, I think he came out early.
Yeah. All right,
I'm not even sure about that, but they were, and then the program's going backwards. Kevin Sumlin may be unemployed next year.
Wow. USC versus Wisconsin. You liked USC laying to 3.5. That was a loss for you. The USC ended up losing that game 23-21.
Yeah, I thought USC skill guys might be able to get some more things going on Wisconsin. Wisconsin has a really good defense. It's better than I thought, actually. I thought maybe Wisconsin's defense was a little bit too pumped up, I guess, by what I perceived to be lack of offense in the Big Ten. But that wasn't the case. USC wasn't able to do much. I think they only scored, I think it was 23-21 or something along those lines.
Yeah, 23-21.
It was a close game, but Wisconsin's defense is the real deal. And, after the game, Wisconsin's defensive coordinator left, and he's now at LSU with a big pay bump.
This was an entertaining game. Houston versus Florida State. Florida State was a 7.5-point favorite. They end up losing the game 38-24. You had Houston.
Yeah, I had Houston. I played that one money line too. I really liked Houston in that game. Florida State, you got to figure, not really too motivated after being, in national championship contention the last couple of years. And this year, they lost to Georgia Tech during the regular season. And Houston has a really good offensive system. They're going to be pumped up to play a Power 5 team. And I just thought Houston's really underrated all year. The only game they lost was when their quarterback was hurt and on the road. So I thought Houston might be able to jump up and stuff Dalvin Cook a bit, which they really did. Houston's strength, I knew, was their run defense all year long. So it was a good matchup for them.
How about Jimbo Fisher? Troy, rumors being thrown around where he might leave FSU to the NFL.
I hear that. I don't see him going anywhere. I think he's in a groove. His recruiting classes are phenomenal. I think he's in a good spot up there. I think he's actually glad Jameis Winston is gone and out of there because he doesn't have to deal with all that. He's winning games and he's getting questions about guys stealing crabs from the grocery store.
Yeah.
He's once he gets a quarterback back in there that's worth a damn, Florida State's going to be right back up there and competing with Clemson for the ACC and getting a spot in that playoff. I don't see Jimbo going anywhere, but there are rumors out there.
You had the under in that game, FSU versus Houston, 56.5, and it went over. So that was a loss. The next game, Oklahoma versus Clemson. Wow, this game was shocking. I had Oklahoma. You had Oklahoma. They were favored by 3.5. They end up losing the game 37-17 to the Clemson Tigers.
Yep, Clemson was really impressive. They won that game in the trenches. Their quarterback looked better. Watson looked better than Baker Mayfield on every level. Mayfield looked a bit panicked and under pressure. Going into the game, Oklahoma's quarterback was sacked 34 times on the year, and I think Clemson maybe was only, 17 or so. It was half of it, less than half, I think.
Yeah.
They won in the trenches for sure. I know before the game, Oklahoma, it was announced their best defensive tackle wasn't going to be playing in the game, and right then I was saying to myself, "Oh my God, I hope Oklahoma's going to be able to score enough."
Yeah.
Because I figured Clemson would be able to run the ball a little bit. That's what they would try doing because that's what Texas did. They ran the ball down their throat, and that's really what they did again. There was a lot of Deshaun Watson in the QB keeper game, and really the turning point in that game was that fake punt they called.
Yep.
In the beginning of the game, and after that it was just all Clemson. It was lights out. Samaje Perine got injured, and then Joe Mixon got injured, and it just kept getting worse and worse for Oklahoma. Great performance by Clemson. I had that one all wrong.
I had Oklahoma winning it all. All right, this game.
Too. I had Oklahoma. That was my biggest bet.
Yeah, man. All right, this game, very shocking. The Sparties, they throw up a donut, man, to Alabama. Alabama was favored by 10. The final score was 38-0, man. What the hell happened there, man?
Pretty bad. I mean, it just shows you how good that Alabama front seven is. And not just them, obviously, the back four.
Yeah.
You knew Michigan State was going to try and stop Derrick Henry, and I knew they'd be able to, and they bottled him up pretty good. But Coker has the best game of his career by miles.
Yes.
Just destroyed Michigan State and basically shut everybody up that's been giving him a load of crap for, this season and all the crap he had to take last year for not being able to win the starting job. He had a great game. Their defense totally dominated. Michigan State, Connor Cook couldn't get anything going. I thought their wide receivers were awful for Michigan State.
Yeah.
With drops, and they couldn't get consistent separation. It was a total mismatch, obviously. The first 10 minutes of the game, it looked like we were going to have something pretty good, a good defensive game, and then the bottom fell out. Lane Kiffin, I thought, called a great game, and I don't think he's getting enough credit. He deserves a lot more credit than what he's getting for that win. I thought he had a great game plan, and D'Antonio has done a great job all year for Michigan State, coming up with schemes to win these games, and I thought he was badly outcoached in this one, and the team was outplayed.
Wow. I was surprised to see they didn't put up not a single point on the board there. All right, the next game, Tennessee. Yeah, go ahead.
On that point, that interception, Connor Cook was coming down the field, and got inside the 10, and they rushed the play. They're not used to going up tempo, and they were going up tempo, and he threw just a terrible throw
pass,
into double coverage, and the wide receiver was out of bounds when he even threw the ball. I don't know what the heck he was doing. He could have just thrown it away, but that's terrible. Anyone who's thinking of drafting that kid, he's never been. Yeah, he wasn't elected the team captain, and he's never had a 60% completion percentage.
That's when I texted when he threw that interception. That's when I texted. I go, a lot of people were saying that this guy could play in the NFL right away.
Oh my God, he's a bench warmer in the NFL, and I mean, at some point you'll have to give him a chance. He's going to get a chance someplace.
Yeah.
But that guy's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't think ever.
Tennessee versus Northwestern. Tennessee was favored by 9.5. This was a win for you. Tennessee blows out Northwestern 45-6.
Yeah, I had a feeling that Tennessee was going to stomp them pretty good. I know Northwestern's strength is their defense, but Tennessee's got a mobile quarterback, and I don't think Northwestern's really had the speed to kind of keep up with that, and I didn't think they'd be able to score on Tennessee either. So I like Tennessee in that one.
Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Ohio State favored by 4.5. This was a win for you, 44-28. The Buckeyes over the Irish.
Yeah, I thought they'd beat them worse than that. I thought Notre Dame was going to just annihilate them. Ohio State, I thought was going to, kill them. I think they had something to prove. They were angry that they were left out of the big bowl games, and that's what I hate about these large conferences now. You've got these conferences, and they have 14 teams in them now, and you get a team like Iowa who doesn't. They're in the Big Ten. They don't even have to play Michigan, Michigan State, or Ohio State, and they beat Wisconsin 10-6, and they end up in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
and Ohio State's against Notre Dame. I thought it should have been reversed. You can have Iowa go play Notre Dame, and it would have been a great game if we could have seen Ohio State play Stanford.
Oh, man. Yeah, you're right.
A lot better matchup. But these conferences now with 14 teams, you got teams that don't have to play against. They may have one or two difficult games the entire season. I mean, Iowa's schedule is an absolute joke.
Yeah.
Total fraud.
Yep. When you tweeted out this pick here, I loved it. Michigan versus Florida. You like the under 40, and it went over. What the hell?
I couldn't believe it.
Florida can't score any points. Yeah, Florida can't score any points throughout the whole season, and then the game goes over. Unbelievable.
Well, unfortunately, what happened was the Gators were so pathetic on offense that the team gave up in the third quarter, and Michigan just poured it on.
Yep.
Michigan just poured it on them, and they put the game over because the Gators quit. They couldn't score, and Michigan, if the Gators had played a full game, Michigan wouldn't have been able to keep scoring either. But Gators were just too pathetic on offense, and they made the defense quit, realizing they weren't going to get any help, and that put that one over.
And Stanford versus Iowa. Stanford was favored by 6. And McCaffrey, what a game. Again, 358 total yards. He ran the ball, caught the ball, even had a punt return for a touchdown. They won 45-16 over Iowa.
Yeah, he did it all. Iowa wasn't in the game.
And he's only a sophomore.
There's a complete mismatch right off the get-go. So, not much to say about that game except you saw how good a coach Shaw is out there at Stanford too. Man, to me, he's the most intriguing candidate. If I could pick one guy to go to the NFL from college, it would be David Shaw. I just don't think he wants to leave Stanford. He loves it.
He's going to the Dolphins.
He's grown up around it. He loves it.
Mike, he's going to the Dolphins. Oh, yeah. Troy Hall just broke the news. Troy's breaking the news right here, the John Ech Show. David Shaw is going to the Dolphins. What do you think about that, Mike?
I don't.
Oh.
That would not happen. That would not happen. He won't go there. But it is scary, that connection. The Dolphins do have a connection to Stanford, and they seem to end up with a lot of guys. They have Stanford, Texas A&M, and Oregon. I was checking Walter football today, and they got them taking this defensive end now from Oregon.
You hear that, Mike?
You can't take another end from Oregon. What are they thinking? They already got one guy getting fat on the beach, collecting checks suspended. Unbelievable. They can't draft that guy.
What do they need? What do the Dolphins need, in your opinion? What should be their first pick? They're getting the 8th pick, right? Is that right, Mike?
Honestly, I thought Jalen Smith would have been great till he got injured in the bowl game for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He's hurt, and I think if there's one of the top 2 cover corners are sitting there at 7 or 8, whatever they have, if Jalen Ramsey's there, he would be good. Hargreaves, I think, will be gone off the board by then, but if he's not, I'd take him too. They need all kinds of stuff. Name it, and they need it. Just don't take another wide receiver. And I know they need a guard, but if you take a guard at 8 or 7, you should just be fired. For doing that.
I mean,
you don't take them that high. You wait and come back in the second round, and you're still probably going to get one of the top 5 guards in the draft because nobody wants to take a guard in the top 20.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like, offensive linemen you should be able to find those like later on in the draft. I mean, I don't understand how hard it is for the Dolphins to put together that O-line. I mean, they've been trying to do that since like 2010.
Can you hear him?
Yeah, I can hear. I mean, I would take the only exception to that, the left tackle. A left tackle is going to go number 1 this year. I guarantee you. Mark it down. The kid from Ole Miss, Tunsil, who caught the pass in the bowl game. He's going to be the number 1 pick by the Tennessee Titans. Doesn't matter who the coach is or what happens. He's in stone. They need somebody to stop Mariota from getting killed, and left tackles are worth a heck of a lot of money right now. Just you can't take a guard.
Yeah.
No guards, no centers. I wouldn't bother taking one of those in the first round ever.
All right, Troy, is it too early to predict the championship game? Are you going to tweet it out, or you want to tell us now? Alabama versus Clemson, Alabama -7.
Well, I'm taking Clemson just because I think they're an all-around team.
You're taking Clemson?
I'm not real sure. I am. I'm taking Clemson with the points.
Wow.
6.5 points. Mm-hmm. They're a complete team, and if you look at what Alabama's had trouble with the last 2 years, it's been Ole Miss. Ole Miss has beaten them 2 years in a row. Ole Miss isn't a better football team than Alabama. It's just the matchup.
Yeah.
That style offense that Hugh Freeze has and what the defense does for him. They focus on stuff in the run. So Clemson look pretty stout against the run. They look like an all-around team to me. They have athletes. Their linebackers look big, and they could still move. They look like they could cover pretty well. But Deshaun Watson just looked like he had all the poise in the world, and I think he's going to give Alabama's front 7 trouble. Saban's defenses, they aren't really schemed to account for mobile quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. If you look at Johnny Manziel beat Alabama when he was there. That's the only way. None of these teams that run I formation or pro-style offenses, nobody beats Alabama with that. And I just think it's going to be a big problem. And I was just so impressed by Clemson. I was in shock. They beat Oklahoma by 20 points. I know what Alabama did to Michigan State, but Michigan State couldn't score. It wasn't like Alabama scored 70. They put up 38 points, and a lot of it was set up by their defense. And I can't see Coker having another game like he just had. Wow. What a game he had. He just was shocking how efficient he was.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it.
All right.
But, I'm taking Clemson because they're getting points. It's 6.5 points. I'll take the points in Clemson.
You heard it right here in the John Ech Show. Troy Hall at Sports Heads Picks with an X. He's taking Clemson January 11th in where's the game being played at? Tempe, Arizona. Is that right? Where's the game being played at?
Yeah, Glendale.
Glendale. Okay, yeah. Right here, you heard it right here. Troy Hall is picking Clemson plus 6.5. All right, Troy, we'll talk to you next week. We'll talk more college football next week, and we'll talk more about this awesome game. Hopefully it's a good game. I want to see a good game.
Me too. I really think it is going to be. I think we had some real garbage games. I think this is going to be a good one.
All right, Troy. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, man. We'll see you.
Take care.
See ya.
All right, when we come back, we got the mayor all the way from New York City on Mixer.com. He'll be talking to us about the NFL and also the NBA. So keep it locked right here on 24/7 Miami.tv.
Hello, Masita Rica is here from The Fix at 6. You can catch a new episode every Friday at 6 and various replays throughout the week here only on 247miami.tv.
All right, we need a catchphrase.
Listen up or I'll kick your butt. The Fix at 6 will make you jump. Masita's lady lumps want to make you hump. Oh yeah, throw a fist pump. Only on 247miami.tv.
Hey, Mike, you ready to record this promo?
Let's do it.
Ha, ha. Clear your throat. Ha, hum. All right, here we go. Ready? Play. Hey, Mike, if you want to hear the best sports talk in the 305, where do you go?
Just log on to 247miami.tv.
What time and when, Mike?
Every Monday from 3 to 5, and also catch replays throughout the week.
Yeah, we talk Marlins, Heat, Hurricanes, and the Dolphins. So again, Mike, where do people go to catch the John Ech Show?
247miami.tv.
Peace.
I'm Dr. J, host of the OT Fantasy Football Doctors, along with Good Goody, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on 247miami.tv, where we tackle the NFL's most important fantasy-related injury news and notes for the week.
We run you through all the tests, checking up on adds and drops, evaluating your lineups, and diagnosing upcoming matches to exploit, so you can go back to feeling good.
You can hear all this and more on the OT Fantasy Football Doctors
On Tuesday.
at 8 p.m. on 247miami.tv.
Hi, this is Kathy Whitmire, LMHC. I'm Barbie Bonder, LCSW. And I'm Arlene Thielon, a psychotherapist. And we're from The Female Perspective, a show about life, love, and everything in between. Check out our show on Mondays at 10 p.m. on 247miami.tv.
Left-handed, you there?
In the building. What's going on? Happy New Year. What's happening?
Happy New Year to you, too. You catch this man on Mixer.com every Tuesday from 8 to 10. Also on Facebook after further review. And on Twitter, left-handed. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. That's what it is.
I got to get to this, man, because before we get to the other stuff, Mayor, the Jets 10-6. how are the fans acting up there with this? Wow, what do I say? This disappointment, 10-6, and you don't make the playoffs.
You know what, man? As a cat that sat back and watched a lot of Jets fans, I know a lot of Jets fans. They set themselves up for disappointment every year, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
They had it. It was right in their hands, Joe. They controlled their own destiny, however you want to slice it. You know what I'm saying? And they threw up. Simple math. They do that all the time. So again, man, they had at the end of the day they had a successful season, but again, man, they got caught again, man, having champagne wishes and caviar dreams on a big budget. You heard? So that's not what it is, man. So but I think that the best thing that happened to them all season, no disrespect, was Gino getting his jaw broke.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I totally agree.
I think that's the best thing that happened to them all season, man. I think if Geno would have been the Jets quarterback, it would have been a whole bunch of nonsense going on, and I don't think they would have had a successful season as they did with Ryan Fitzpatrick. And that's just the truth.
All right, those that know left-handed know that he's a big Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
Oh yeah.
Left-handed, break it down, man. Break it down. Tell us your thoughts of the Buccaneers year, and tell us what we could expect in the future for your Bucs.
You know what, man? I think that, to me, like I said, I told you all during the season, once we got past the 3-4 victory mark, I was good. It was an improvement. That's an improvement to me. We won 6 games. We won 3 times as many games as we did last year. So to me, that's an improvement. I'm good. People thought that Jameis Winston would be a distraction, man, and a bust in his first season. This season went according to plan. He threw for over 4,000 yards, breaking all type of Tampa Bay rookie records. And as for the rest of the team, man, Doug Martin had a standout season, coming back from his injury and finishing second for the record title and all that. That means a lot. The offense moved very well. And aside from the bad penalties and drop passes at crucial times, everything went basically the way it was supposed to go. Kind of, to me, defensively, the team was a disappointment because, again, penalties and uninspired play, the team placed himself in situations that made himself look real, real bad. Lovie Smith, he needs to be working on his late game decision making. The team needs a higher football IQ, if you know what I'm saying, and continue to build on what was, in my opinion, man, a successful season. Not too many teams, again, like I said, can say they won 3 times as many games as they did last year, man. So my grade for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season, a steady C+, man. I give them a C+.
And what are you looking for in the draft? What position are you guys lacking?
I'm looking for, man, listen, we could use help anywhere, everywhere. Offensive line, I'm looking for us to show up our offensive line a little bit more. We need some more protection for Jameis. I'm looking for some smarter ball players in my secondary, man. We had Rondé Barber, we had Don Lynch back there. We have to worry about them type of things, man. We need some dudes back there that's going to think. All these dudes want to do is catch the ball and try to be on ESPN. And all they end up doing is getting burnt all day. So I'm talking to those Chris Conti type dudes, Jennings type dudes. We need somebody that's going to be back there that's going to put some fear in somebody's heart. Linebacker-wise, I think we're strong. Avonte David had another, decent year, even though I'm kind of down on him. But people are up on him. He's playing up to his potential, so I can't complain. We could use help anywhere, man. Everywhere and anywhere, man. I'm not really looking for no specific situation. I think we got the 11th pick in the draft, so we're going to get something. I'm just looking forward to us building on this season right here. 6-10, I'll eat that. But I'm looking forward to bigger and better things for my Buccaneers next season.
All right, let's start with the AFC. New England and Denver get the first-round buys. On Saturday, we got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Houston Texans. Your opinion on that game, Kansas City in Houston?
Look, man, these two teams, they come into the league, into this game, man, rather as the hottest teams in the league. Kansas City won 10 in a row to go 11-5. Houston won their last 3 to get to 9-7, and they won the AFC South. They met earlier this season, week 1. Kansas City won 27-20. That's the game when they started Brian Hoyer, and then he got benched for Ryan Mallett, and then he got his job back and all that nonsense. I think that the Texans, they definitely turned their season around with a steadily improved defense led by J.J. Watt, who's been usually his dominant self, and he's getting a lot of help from the younger players, including that rookie dude, Bernard McKinney and Kevin Johnson. The Chiefs, man, they're continuing to do their numbers, man, even after they lost Michael Charles. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they've done well behind a good defense and an offense that can definitely run it and do enough in the passing game. Alex Smith, I'm telling you, John, Alex Smith is that dude.
Yeah.
I keep telling you, every week, man, I beat you in the head about Alex Smith, man. He's that dude. That game, I'm looking for Kansas City to win, man. I'm looking for it to be a good game because it's down in Houston. The crowd is going to be hyped, but I think Kansas City's going to pull that one out.
All right, I'm going to put you down for Kansas City. The 8-15 game, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Pittsburgh's favored by 2.5. Who do you like in that game?
Man, listen, check this out. I was getting ready to ask you, man, a couple of questions, and this is the question I want to ask you about this particular game. Why did Roger Goodell and those guys up there at the office on Fifth Avenue decide to put the Bengals in a primetime spot?
Good question. Good question.
I'm that to me right there is a red flag.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know what Cincinnati does not do in prime time, and that's show up.
Yep.
They beat Cleveland, but me and you could go out and your man, the producer dude in the back, he could go out there and go beat Cleveland. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So again, man, I'm not really putting too much stock into Andy Dalton coming back. He's got a built-in excuse now that his thumb, hopefully that is healed. I'm not looking for them to really do much. I think that they have to really slow Roethlisberger and them down. If they don't slow Roethlisberger and them down, this game is going to be over early. I think that this is going to be an indictment on the Cincinnati Bengals, man. You know what I mean? We talked all season about what they do in October and November. Doesn't really matter. We want to see what they're going to do in January. January's here, baby.
That's right.
And we're going to see what it is. I'm tempted to pick the Pittsburgh Steelers on the strength, but I think that the Steelers corners have to slow A.J. Green down.
Okay.
I think they're going to be on the spot. William Gay, Brandon Boykin, and Antoine Blake, they're going to have to come up with a real big game. I think that the Bengals defense need to do just enough against a bad Steelers defense to make it happen. But you know what? I'm not going to put my money on that. And I'm not going to put my reputation on the John Ech Show on that. So I'm going to rock with the Steelers, baby. I'm going to rock with the Steelers and big. I talked all of that, and then I ended up picking Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. All right. In the NFC, Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals have first-round byes. The first game, the 105 game, we got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Minnesota Vikings. Who do you like in that game?
Now, John, this is question number 2. Why do they have the Seattle Seahawks playing at 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday?
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be 10 o'clock Pacific Coast time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of tripping on this scheduling thing right here.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be a real big game, man. I think it's gonna be a good game. These two teams, they met on December 6th. Seattle won 38-7, but the Vikings were banged up on defense that day, man. And Russell Wilson got busy. He was 21-27 for 274 and 3 touchdowns. Teddy Bridgewater had a bad day that game. He got 118 in the Intel. The Seahawks, they won 6 of their last 7. They dominated Arizona last Sunday. The Vikings won 3 in a row. They had a nice game against Green Bay. Marshawn Lynch is coming back. Beast mode, baby. You already know what he does in the playoff. So I'm trying to hope that Seattle can get that earth back to defend their NFC crown. You know, I talked garbage about them all season. Minnesota, I don't think they're ready yet, John.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm tempted, but I got to go with the people that's been there already. You heard? So I'm going to rock with Seattle, man. I'm going to rock with Seattle in this one.
You know, I said before the game started last night, Minnesota versus Green Bay, I was saying that Teddy wasn't ready yet, but he showed me something yesterday, you know? And I think, like you said, I think Minnesota's not ready, but I think Seattle's one of the hottest teams coming into the playoffs. So I think I like your pick.
And no doubt, man. But you know what, though? I think that, Bridgewater is going to be his first playoff start. It helps that it's, in Minnesota, but he cannot get into those shootout with Russell Wilson.
Right.
He got to take care of the ball if the Vikings have any chance to, hang close and win.
Yep.
They got to take care of football. Got to.
The 4:40 game, the Green Bay Packers versus the surprising Washington Redskins. Your opinion, sir? Green Bay versus Washington.
You like that? You like that? The Packers, man, they come into this game. They lost 6 of their last 10. That's not Green Bay that we used to see it. Washington playing great football. They won 4 in a row. Woo! Can the Packers protect Aaron Rodgers? Washington's pass rush has kind of, come on a little bit lately, especially with the emergence of that dude, Preston Smith. They've been calling his name a lot in Washington games. He got 8 sacks for the season, 5 in the last 3 weeks. Put him on the other side with Ryan Kerrigan. He gives Washington a real nice pass rush combo, man.
Yeah.
And the Packers have had issues the past couple of weeks protecting Aaron Rodgers, man. That's going to be something to look at, B. I'm telling you. For Washington, it's Kirk Cousins. It's going to be his first playoff start. That's always the issue. You know what I mean? Is he going to have issues with the pressure? I'm not saying that he will, because I think that this whole season he's been under pressure and he's just played his game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the Packers, it has to be Aaron Rodgers. He has to have his typical Aaron Rodgers season, but there's reason for it. The receivers hasn't really won at all times except for that Hail Mary and a couple other instances this season. And the offensive line is struggling real bad. But the postseason has been his time. But my dude, they're on the road. It's going to be rocking. DC is going to be rocking. And I think that Aaron Rodgers and them going to pull this one out, man. I think they're going to win by a couple of touchdowns.
Woo! You going with the Packers?
Yeah.
Wow. Mikey Mike doesn't like that. He's laughing over here.
You know what? You know what though? I'm saying, man. I think that Kirk Cousins is going to have a nice game, but I gotta put some credence into what Green Bay's done before, man. You know what I mean? And I think that now that the pressure's off in the postseason, they got to do what they got to do, man. I'm looking forward to Aaron Rodgers doing his numbers, man. No disrespect to Kirk Cousins, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No disrespect to him. But you're bugging if you think that Washington's going to beat Green Bay, man. You're bugging.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think the Packers have just been like scraping by for like most of the season, and I think the Redskins are playing hot football right now. I mean, they don't really. Their defense isn't anything great, but I think their offense clicks enough better than the Green Bay offense anyway.
You know what though? And I give it to you. You're right. And there's nothing that you're saying is wrong right there. But my thing is, right, I'm not really putting faith into Kirk Cousins like that. You know what I mean? And again, if Aaron Rodgers can make a play here or there, I'm trusting him making a play here and there. I'm looking forward to him making a big play late. You know what I mean? Maybe he might get sacked a couple times in the game, but I'm looking forward to Green Bay's experience pulling it out. I'm looking forward to Lacey trying to, do his numbers and have a nice game and affect on the game. And it's going to be a good one, man. And respect due to your Washington team, man, because nobody saw that coming. If they did, they're lying.
Hey, I didn't even see that coming. I just watch football.
Yeah, no doubt. Salute. I think you're watching too much of it if you think the Redskins going to beat.
Mayor, you're in New York City right now. What with Tom Coughlin? Did he get fired? Did he resign? What's the deal up there?
Listen, man. First of all due respect to Tom Coughlin, man. The word, he resigned.
Okay.
They just decided to go, in a different direction. And I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? I look at it as a situation where, you got to move on, man. The writing was on the wall. But you know what, though, John? At the end of the day, he got 2 rings out of the deal, man. They can't be mad at what Tom Coughlin did.
No. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Can't be mad at that. So again, man, they do what they do. Now we're looking about trying to deal with Jerry Reese in his situation now as the GM. Is he going to be around? Is he going to have a hand in saying who the next coach is? I think the Giants are going to try to make a splash in naming the next coach.
Who do you think? Who do you think? Any names?
Right now, I mean, it could be a host of anybody, man. If I had my dithers, man, if it was up to me, I would say that they would dip their hand and give that second round pickup for Sean Payton.
Ooh,
because I think that he definitely has that connection.
Wow.
And I think that he has the connection, and I think that he would fit.
Yeah.
And again, we got to have, the Giants, they have to have somebody that's going to be able to compete with that team that's across the bridge, you know what I mean? And the other sidelines, man.
No doubt.
Are coming.
Yeah.
The Jets are coming. So you don't want to, be the second team in New York, but you can have holding New York down forever.
Yeah. Wait.
Can I get a question in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Mayor, the whole Tom Coughlin thing, like, what do you think led to him parting ways with the team? Because, like, he is a really good football coach. Like, I admire him a lot. Was it, like, bad drafting? Was it bad coaching? Like, what went wrong there?
Nah, you know what, man? It just came to a simple amount of, like, just, you got used to hearing one voice for so long. And you know what, my dude? Let me just kick the science to you like this. When he first came to the squad, it was a different personality and a different mentality on the team. Now you have a younger mindset, more or less, and Tom Coughlin is more of a straight-laced type dude. Don't get it twisted. Tom Coughlin is a winner. You know what I mean? And maybe that the Giants, they got 2 rings. They got all they could get out of him. Maybe he needs a fresh start because again, he went to 2 AFC championship games when he was in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not, maybe it's just a play if they wore, the welcome wore out. And it didn't get acrimonious. They didn't, snipe at each other. They just was like, yo, he can't coach here no more. You feel he's burnt out. It happens.
He did he did make some questionable calls. I think that game against Cowboys, I think he I don't know, I forgot the call that he made that was very questionable, and then other ones too.
Right. But again, man, I mean, you know what though, John? You know what? I'm gonna give it to you like this, my dude. It happens every year. The Giants, they have up and down. They do their thing. Remember, they wasn't really tearing the league up when they won those Super Bowls either. You know what I'm saying? So again, it was up and down. His job was always on the line. Always.
Yeah. Every year. Yeah.
Always on the line. So again, man, so it gets out to a point where the writing was on the wall. I think that the Odell Beckham thing, and like my man said earlier, a couple of calls, some time, with the clock management earlier in the season was crazy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So again, man, a lot of that led to this. Maybe it was his time, man. You know what I'm saying? And my thing now is with the Giants, I'm not worried about so much with Tom Coughlin. What you gonna do about Eli Manning? Because didn't we talk about this a couple weeks ago? What you gonna do about Eli Manning? Because it's about that time.
Yeah, it's coming.
Real talk. It's about that time, man. Real up. I'm rocking on the John Ech Show, man. Shout out to Miami247.tv, man. We in the building.
Peyton Manning replaced Osweiler yesterday in the third quarter. What'd you think?
You know what? I thought that that's all they needed for them to get. Once Peyton Manning got healthy and right, it would have been all Brock Osweiler had to do was jaywalk, and he would have been out of there. You know what I mean? Real talk, man. He did an admirable job. I can't say nothing bad about Brock Osweiler. You knew that you wasn't gonna be in there for the long haul, baby. You knew it. You held the job down. You did your numbers. Now you can either think about that being an audition for some other situation or holding down the spot for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the Broncos are concerned, man, moving forward with Peyton, they looked like they was, back. They didn't miss a beat.
Right.
Everything was up. They had no, bad penalties, no drop passes. I mean, it was everything was back to normal. So we'll see, man. Now it's playoff time. We'll see what it is.
Can their defense take them straight to the Super Bowl? Is it good enough? Can you compare that defense to the Ravens defense, to the '85 Bears defense, where it was the defense that made the difference?
John, I don't think you should even mention this Denver Bronco defense in the same breath as even the 2002 Buccaneers.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? This defense is all right, but as we saw in the game yesterday, the defense, it is what it is. It's a defense, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a defense. They're liable to give up the big play just like any other defense.
Yeah.
So again, by now, and let's kick the ballistics about it. Everybody's now in this big rush now that Peyton Manning is back in the playoffs or whatever, and how they got the #1 seed in the AFC is beyond me. I'm bugging. You know what I mean? But again, it is what it is. But I think that Denver's gonna go as far as their defense takes them, because again, Peyton Manning it's time. It's money time now.
Mm-hmm.
You put all your money on Peyton Manning, that's on you. But I'm not really trusting that Denver defense, man. Again, man, I'm not trusting them, because we saw what happened in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We've been there. We saw what happened, baby.
Yep.
We saw what happened.
All right, so you got Kansas City over Houston, Pittsburgh over Cincinnati, Seattle over Minnesota, and Green Bay over Washington. Those are the mayor's picks right here on the John Ech Show. I haven't been watching a lot of basketball because football, the bowl games, NFL, the playoffs are coming. But I got two questions for you in the NBA. The first one, Steph Curry got hurt. And then they end up losing that game without him. Like how important is Steph Curry to the Golden State Warriors?
How important is Steph Curry to the Golden State Warriors? How important is electricity to your show right now?
Very important.
You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, a lot goes through Steph. I mean, if he can, miss a game, I don't think that they would, be that. Thrown off of their situation, but being that he's injured and they don't really know when he's going to come back, he tried to come back and then he had to go out again.
Mm-hmm.
So now more of an impetus on them having to win without Steph. So that shows you how important he is. On a percentage note, on a scale from 8 to 10, I say Steph Curry is 8.5. That's his on a scale of 1 to 10.
Right.
8.5. You know what I mean? So again, he has to come back. He has to come back right. All that 75 and 7 and 80, 73 and 9 and all that. Knock it off with that. Please just play the game. Play the game, defend your title, and then talk about your back-to-back. How about that? They want to, show that they can win 73 games. Show that you can defend your title. How about that?
Yep. Another question.
Go ahead, B.
Another question. This guy has. Well, I wouldn't say they're not talking about him a lot, but everybody talks about Curry and LeBron and James Harden. I think my MVP of the league so far, and I know it's still early, is Russell Westbrook. Man, he's putting up 25 points a game, 9 assists, and 2.53 steals a game.
I wish Russell Westbrook was playing for the Knicks.
Speaking of the Knicks, what's going on?
Listen, I think Russell Westbrook is one of the top 7 players in the NBA right now. I love his game, his tenacity. He goes hard body karate. That's the definition of hard body karate.
Yes.
When Russell Westbrook drives to the lane, he got that look on his face like he's not going to be denied. He going to flush it on you, B. He going to flush it on you. So be easy. Back to my Knicks though, man. Stop hanging out in the clubs. Stop taking these ball, man. Listen, get this out right now. Yo, man, we getting picked off. Yo, man, we getting picked off real bad right now. First, it was your man, Derek Williams.
Yep.
They picked up in the crib. They, lifted his jewels and all that.
Right.
Then you got your man going to the strip spot, going to hang out and got set up lovely. He got set up lovely, son.
Yep. I agree. He got set up. He got set up.
Yo, how else can you slice that?
Yeah.
You're not. Check this out. It's one thing that they're not going to do, or by accident in New York City when they drive, is box you in, cousin. They don't do that by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you got set up from the door. You know what I mean? You can't hang out like that. So that's a lesson learned. So now the debate and the talk on the street and like in the barbershops was up here. Was kind of like, well, he should have known. The company he got set up, blah, 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 this and that and the third. You shouldn't be hanging out like that. Well, you should know that from the door, man. You know what I mean? They got Steph Marbury in the club, and outside the club in Manhattan. They don't care who they take, man.
Right.
Yo. So again, man, shout out to Clee Anthony early, man, that he's gonna get well quick and all of that. But on the court, man, it's just it's getting back to normal. Nobody's knowing why they can't play defense. All the gloss, the glitter, the glamour is off the squad. Now reality set in. What did I tell you, John? I said around Christmas time.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think that right now, they got to get into a situation where either they're going to try to win this thing. And what I mean by win, my win is be respectable. You can't bring it one night and don't bring it the next. A lot of teams are starting to see through the Knicks now. Because they don't play defense for 48 minutes, which is a real bad thing. Carmelo's trying to acquiesce to what's going on. Off the court, distraction is really taking the heat and the focus off of what's going on the court, except for the people that's paying attention. You know what I'm saying, John?
Right.
They're not talking about the Knicks basketball. They're talking about Clee Anthony early getting robbed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but cats like myself, I'm like, no, hey, wait a minute. This team is going nowhere quick. And nobody have an answer.
Mm.
The defensive intensity is not there. The rotation's not there. Nobody's hustling, getting back. You know what I mean? It seems like they don't have their legs. You know what I mean? So, again, man, I don't know what's going on with my team, man. And now I'm paying attention. Because, again, like I said, I really don't get into really hoops like that. I'm a hoop dude. I'm a sports dude. But I really don't get into the NBA like that until around Christmas time.
Right.
My antenna starts to go up. So I'm paying attention to what's going on, man. And I'm not liking what I'm seeing, B. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, man.
All right. You got a show tomorrow or next week?
Oh, nah, man. We back in the building, man. January 12th.
Okay.
We doing it big after Further Review 2.0, a.k.a. the Sideline Pass. You already know Mixler.com and all of that. So, yeah, man. So I'm here. I'm doing what I do, man, and loving to talk about sports, man. I'm doing my thing on the John Ech Show, man, live and direct and all of that.
Great job. We'll catch you next week. Left-handed, again, Mixler.com, 8 to 10 every Tuesday. But not this Tuesday, next Tuesday, right?
Next Tuesday, 8 o'clock. I'm in the building.
Twitter, Left-handed, and Facebook after Further Review. All right, Mayor. Hey, have a great week. Have a great week.
No doubt, man. Happy New Year to everybody out there, man. Peace.
Likewise, peace. All right, when we come back, we'll talk NFL. We'll talk what's going on with the Dolphins, and Mikey Mike's going to break it down who he wants the Dolphins' next head coach to be. So right here on 247miami.tv. Shout out to my cousin Eunice, who's listening right now on 247miami.tv. So keep it locked right here. When we come back, Mikey Mike and the Funky Bunch.
On 247miami.tv.
I'm Craig Cook, host of Metal and Mayhem. I'm bringing you a brand new season of Metal and Mayhem this fall right here on 247miami.tv. Follow me on Twitter at Real Craig Cook to submit your requests and have all your feedback made fun of live on the air. Metal and Mayhem, Fridays this fall, 247miami.tv.
You know why we pulled you over?
Was it because I was speeding?
No, it's because you weren't listening to the
Tune in Thursdays at 8 p.m. on 247 Miami.
This is Wilma Shakespeare,
Anger.
And Disaster Chief.
from Miami's Vice City Rollers, inviting you to tune in to Ring Crash Radio on 247miami.tv. New shows every Saturday at 9 p.m.
With encore replays Monday at noon and 10 p.m., Tuesdays at 10 a.m.
And Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and again at 10 p.m.
Find out everything you've ever wanted to know about roller derby in the 305.
Get the 411 on the women's team
The men's team.
And even the juniors.
Ring Crash Radio.
Rink Rash Radio
Rink Rash Radio.
on 247miami.tv.
Calor y sabor. Todos los jueves a las 6 de la tarde, con tu amiga Diana Carolina, te traigo Sabor de Miami, un show de entretenimiento, desde noticias hasta un Throwback Thursday. No te lo pierdas, 1 hora de calor y sabor, aquí en 24/7 Miami.
Hi guys, I'm James.
I'm Adrian.
We got some very exciting news about our upcoming show,
Cannon Fire.
What are we going to talk about, Adrian?
We're going to talk about everything science fiction.
So, movies?
Yes.
Video games?
Yes.
TV shows?
Checkmate on that.
Awesome. We're also going to be seen around our local comic book events. So you're going to see us at a lot of cons, hopefully at some of the comic book shops around town.
Hopefully they be giving free stuff and we'll let you know about it.
That'd be awesome. And we've also got some interviews lined up for you guys. So please remember to check us out on 247miami.tv.
And like us on Facebook.
It's time.
Oh yeah, it's that time of year. It's football season. You know what else that means? It's fantasy football season. Tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. for Fantasy Frauds, with replays starting at 5 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You can only hear it here on 247miami.tv.
All right, the last segment of the show right here on 247miami.tv. The John Ech Show with Mikey Mike producing the show, as always, doing a great job. You know, in 2013, Mikey Mike, Dolphins #1 fan. This is Salguero's article last Sunday, the 27th of December. The Dolphins entered that offseason. This is 2013 now, with $60 million in salary cap space. $60 million in salary cap space. They entered the draft day with 11 total picks, Mikey Mike. including a first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks, and a 4th-round pick. The team was scheduled to have 5 picks in the top 82 selections.
I want to say they had like 11 picks overall that
Yeah,
year.
11 picks, 11 total picks. And with this bonanza, it would be fair to expect the Dolphins to author a future bright enough to eventually unseat the New England Patriots as the AFC East dominant team.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us now.
Just
no coach.
Yep.
No GM.
Well, they promoted what was the name?
Greer.
Greer.
Yeah. We got no coaches.
Glorified scout, basically. Greer.
We got Ryan Tannehill, which I think I'm not ready to give up on him. And I'm wearing my Pittsburgh Steelers hat because I think the Pittsburgh Steelers. I forgot to tell the mayor this, and I'm going to switch over to the Carolina Panthers hat, and
making the switch
to the Carolina Panthers. I think the Carolina Panthers and the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing the Super Bowl. You heard it right here, John Ech Show.
That's his bet.
That's my bet. All right. Here is the schedule for interviews, Mike. Tomorrow, Mike Shanahan comes into town and he's going to interview. And we all know Mike Shanahan won 2 Super Bowls. Your opinions on Mike Shanahan? He hasn't coached in 2 years.
The red-faced devil.
The red-faced devil.
I mean, I don't know. I think he's out of it. I don't think I don't see what he can offer. I mean, his last time was with the Redskins. It didn't go so well. I mean, there was a lot of things stirring there. A lot of reports kind of, making him come off like a jerk in the regime, just like a total kind of dictator person. He had that whole ordeal with what was his name?
RG3.
Yeah, RG3. But before that was the Albert Hainsworth thing.
Oh yeah.
Or Albert Hainsworth couldn't pass the conditioning test, and Mike Shanahan was on his butt about that, which is fine because Albert Hainsworth was pretty lazy. I mean, I heard the conditioning test for that thing, but you just had to run like back and forth across the field like 8 times without stopping, and
he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it. He like stopped in the middle of it to take a bathroom break. Like, God, man, this guy's like totally unmotivated.
And he's getting paid a lot of money, man. That's the reason why.
I know. He just collected his money and just. I don't know. He didn't want to play football. But anyway, moving on.
But you think Shanahan? I think, in my opinion, this is my opinion. I don't know what you think. I think if he does become the head coach of the Dolphins, he's going to bring a lot of good assistant coaches with him. I mean, because he's a respected coach in the league. Everybody knows him, and he's won 2 Super Bowls, and he knows how to pick his assistant coaches. And I think he would do a good job with that. But I don't think he's ready.
I think his best days are behind him.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
You
know what I mean? Like,
absolutely correct.
He could bring like maybe a decent staff with him or whatever. But I mean, I don't know, man. Like Mike Shanahan, I just think like the way the Dolphins are structured, Ross, the clueless owner, never knows what he's doing.
Right.
Then they hired Hickey as a GM to work with Philbin, and then 1 year later, Hickey becomes this non-entity because
Tannenbaum came in.
Yeah, Tannenbaum came in and was overseeing Hickey, and then Hickey's out the door now. Like 2 drafts later, Hickey's out the door. like I remember that day that Hickey got hired. You know what I mean? Like the GM candidates that the Dolphins wanted were like turning them down and everything, and Hickey's the only one who.
He came from Tampa, right?
Yeah, he was one of the Tampa scouts for like 18 years or something like that. And, he finally accepted the job, and they had that press conference, and Hickey said all the right things. And then you had the first draft, and like the first 2 rounds or so in that draft, and, went pretty well. And now he's gone.
Yep.
And now they just promote the director of college scouting, Greer, to be GM, and I think he's just going to be like a glorified scout in the GM position, just there as a puppet. I guess Tannenbaum, I assume from the way my mind's working right now is that Tannenbaum just promoted Greer because it's not like they really went out and found a GM. They just promoted a guy who was already working for them.
He's been with them for, I think 12 years or something like that, or even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was Hickey the man who put this team together in 2013 when he
No, with all the picks.
Yeah.
No, we still
Was
had
it Ireland?
Ireland at that
Okay.
time, and
But I'm talking about when they had these free agents like Carlos Dansby came in, Kevin Burnett.
Dansby was before that.
Okay.
Dansby came in, and I want to say like 2010 or something like that. I don't know.
And then Ellerby and Phil Wheeler were.
Yeah, Ellerby and Philip Wheeler.
That was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah. That was 2013,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, because we had that big. We had what 60 million in cap space or
Right.
something. To
60 million cap space, yeah.
Yeah.
And Wheeler, was it Wheeler or Ellerby that came from the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl? They were saying, "Oh yeah, he's coming from."
Oh, that was Ellerby.
Yeah,
he
Ellerby.
came from the Ravens.
He was horrible.
Yeah, he was supposed to be. I mean, in that linebacking core in the Ravens, they still had Ray Lewis and I forgot the other one.
Yeah.
But he played pretty well, so the Dolphins re-signed him. But the thing is, I was like, oh, okay, Ellerby's coming here. It's not going to be too bad. We still have Dansby and Burnett. They're pretty solid.
I thought that linebacker core was going to be really good.
Yeah, and then my friend told me, is like, hey, they just cut Dansby and Burnett. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I was like, you hire these two linebackers who have never been the leaders of their team, like Wheeler. Like the Dolphins, before they hired Wheeler, I think Wheeler came in and the Dolphins weren't interested in him, and then Wheeler went to the Colts or whatever it was, had like I guess a decent year, and then he goes back to the Dolphins, like and they had to play like even more than they wanted to because he was a free agent at that
Right.
point.
What do you think about Neville Hewitt?
Neville Hewitt? He's a linebacker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he had a solid performance. The one that I've actually been noticing more is the Kelvin Shepherd kid.
Calvin Shepherd, yeah.
Because he, like, from what I've been hearing while I've been watching the games, is that he's, stepped up and had a good amount of decent weeks this year.
He's in every tackle. I always see him. He's in every tackle.
And like he gets fired up after he makes a play. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I guess. I mean, I've seen more from him than I ever saw in Philip Wheeler.
Oh, for sure.
So.
Ellerby.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess that's an upgrade. It's a surprise. I mean,
I think Dansby might be the last good linebacker we had.
Yeah. The thing is, everybody knocked on him because he used to make plays in Arizona, and then when he was with us, he didn't make plays. And then from the reports that I heard is that when he came here, he played. I forgot. He was either a weak side or strong side linebacker in Arizona. I forget which one, but then he played the opposite position when he came to the Dolphins. So,
right.
So you know what I mean? So
yeah, they switched his position.
Yeah, that's another bad coaching move.
But linebackers are good when they have a good defensive line.
Yeah.
When they have a bad defensive line, that's when your linebacking core gets exposed. You'll know for sure how good those linebackers are speed wise, because that defensive line.
Who
is,
did we even get in that draft? I don't even remember.
What draft was that?
In 2013 draft.
That was Deion Jordan, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, Deion Jordan.
Oh my God, really?
Jesus. All right. So Shanahan's coming in tomorrow, and so is defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, Terrell Austin. I don't know too much about him, but I heard Sue came out saying that he totally backs him up. He was a defensive coordinator when Sue was there last year. He's a defensive wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need a defensive-minded coach to coach our team here?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I like seriously, like I the way it's built, I just think whoever gets hired for next year, it's not going to work out. It's just going to be an automatic failure because the
Come on, man, you got to be positive.
Why?
Man.
Why should I be positive after all that's happened? Why should I trust the Dolphins to get anything right? Why?
No, you're right.
There's no positivity for next year.
I feel bad because you're how old are you?
28.
You're 28, and you've been watching the Dolphins how many years?
For I don't know how many, but I'm watching them since 2000. Yeah, probably 15 years.
And it's been total misery.
I mean, there was the first couple of good years with Mondstadt, and then just
I remember when I came.
That just a bunch of down years until Pennington came and got us to the playoffs, and then. Yeah.
We came from Chicago in the late 80s, and then the Dolphins were always making the playoffs, but they would never get to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There was one year when I think San Diego beat them. Tony Martin made an awesome play, and that was to go to the Super Bowl in San Diego. And I think San Diego lost to the 49ers that year in the Super Bowl. But I know a buddy of mine, he's a big Chicago Bears fan. Grew up in Chicago with me. He's saying this guy Adam Gase, who's the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, is a pretty good coach. And he's going to be interviewing on Thursday here in Miami. So Adam Gase, Mike and Mike.
The Bears OC.
Yeah. He was with Fox in Denver. He coached Peyton, and
he's been getting a lot of praise because I guess he's to thank for Jay Cutler limiting his turnovers and interceptions this year. But at the same time, I mean, Jay Cutler was having, I guess, a decent year in the beginning, but I mean, the last couple games he hasn't been that great. I mean, I haven't really watched the Bears. But, I mean, Adam Gase is supposed to be like, oh, I fixed Jay Cutler or whatever. But I'm like, for all we know, Jay Cutler just stopped throwing interceptions on his own. Like,
right.
I know Jay Cutler used to be a turnover machine, and, like, maybe he just took care of the ball a little bit more. Like, okay, so what? Like, I mean, what else has he done? I mean, the Bears haven't been that great of a team either. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, who else? We got the Lions defensive coordinator. Their defense hasn't been great this year. I mean, I know it was pretty good last year, I guess, and they kind of fell off this year. But I mean, that doesn't show promise. Who else we have? Doug Marrone, Jaguars assistant head coach. Doug Marrone. I think he used to be the Bills coach, right?
And he used to coach in Syracuse University. Yeah. How about Chip Kelly?
Chip Kelly, please. I think
we did call it. Remember a couple weeks ago, the theme of our show was should the Eagles fire Chip Kelly? And look what happened. They did.
I think Chip Kelly. Oh my God. Okay. I think Chip Kelly can coach, but do I want him picking players and personnel? No. But do I want Tannenbaum picking players and? No. But so yeah, I think Chip Kelly can coach, but also the way he just runs his team, I think he's still in the college mindset, because in college, yeah, you could kind of get on top of your players because they're just young boys and you're trying to like indoctrinate them to buy into your system. But in the NFL, they're all full-grown men and they're all equally talented. And in college, yeah, I guess you could run a certain system and get by and win that way. But in the NFL, you need talent. And what he did was just think that no matter who he plugged into his system they'll be able to win that way, and he couldn't. He got rid of his firepower, man. You got rid of his 2 stud receivers and his running back.
Yep. And he got rid of well, I don't know if Nick Foles was his I don't know if he liked Foles as his quarterback.
I don't know. I mean, I just thought that was like a equal trade, I guess. I mean, I didn't watch the Rams. I think anybody who goes to the Rams.
And the mayor reported that Sean Payton, well, it's just a rumor. He heard something that the Giants might make a trade with the New Orleans Saints to get Sean Payton.
Yeah, I got a couple updates on my phone about that.
What are they saying?
I mean, they basically just said that they were interested in Sean Payton. Like, I guess that's the only team that seems like that has a real connection between Sean Payton and that, you know, and the Giants. Like, that's the only report that I see that is really connecting them, because like all the other teams I haven't heard. The Dolphins, there's a report yesterday that Sean Payton is not interested in the Dolphins job. So there you go. I mean, that's the one guy that I really wanted.
Yeah.
And I think
saying all this, I think the only guy that's left is Dan Campbell.
Dan. I know that's the thing I'm thinking. Like
might as well just keep Dan Campbell.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You might as well just keep him.
They were rooting for him in the locker room. They were going Campbell.
I mean, he could. If he can inspire the players. I mean, I don't know. Let him hire his own staff or whatever, and let him run his own philosophy or whatever. I mean, because he's already part of the team now.
Yeah, but you know, Ross is not going to hire Dan Campbell back, man. Come on,
maybe not. It all depends on who the better offer is. I mean, other than, like, if other coaches keep turning him down because they want to instill their own people and their own front office or whatever, and Ross is turning them down because no, you got to work with Tannenbaum. The same problem that we had when he's kept Ireland and wanted to hire a new coach. You know, it's the same thing until Tannenbaum fail. Oh my God, it's the worst thing, because like if Tannenbaum fails, then and they hire a new coach, then he's gonna fire Tannenbaum, right? but he's going to still keep the head coach. And then it's just going to be the whole revolving door of people who have never worked together and are not under the same philosophy. Yeah, they can work together and they can get along, but there's certain football philosophies that they might not want to
bring Bill Parcells back.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's the only, but if you think,
how about Pagano?
If you think about it, the last time they blew it up
Yeah.
and hired all these people under the same philosophy, was the Bill Parcells thing. And what happened? They made it to the playoffs the first year.
They did.
So you have to blow it up and build it from top to bottom with the same people on like that have all worked with each other.
Tannenbaum had one good year. Well, I don't know. I heard this from somebody. I forgot who said it. He had one good year with the Jets.
Yeah.
And the rest of the years, they weren't that good. And there some Jets fans say that he ruined the Jets.
Yeah.
So his excuse or Ross's excuse of him being the president, is he the president of the club or what is he?
He's
the
like
GM?
the VP of football operations.
Whatever. Because he has connections in the league and he's been around. He knows a lot of people. He knows that, he's made picks before. He's made he's drafted players. He's made signed free agents and so on. But I don't know. I think he could get somebody.
I always heard that he's a better agent. Like in a way, he's a better agent. He's good with people.
He's
or
good with
whatever,
the players.
But football decision wise, he sucks.
Yeah.
Because I think he gave that Mark Sanchez that big contract.
He did.
And look how
I forgot to bring that up. Yep.
And then he comes here and he does the same thing with
Tannehill.
Tannehill, who they didn't have to give a big extension to because he was still.
He would have played for less money.
Yeah, exactly. He was still on his rookie deal.
And Sue got so much money, and that hasn't panned out yet. But I don't know. I just hope for the best.
Yeah.
How about Pagano?
I like Pagano, but at the same time, how do I know what he has? Because the Colts had Andrew Luck the whole time. For all I know, Andrew Luck's been really doing all the work, and Pagano. I respect Pagano as a coach.
Yeah.
But
what you got? You got something?
Yeah, I got a sound clip from Stephen Ross after the game.
All right, let's hear it. We got 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know, right? We might as well fit it in here. Okay, here we go.
How long is it? I
It's
got some breaking
maybe
news
a
here.
minute.
Okay, good.
I don't know.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, 2016, we're undefeated. It's 2015 that I'm disappointed in the way this team, really performed in 15. And but I really got to thank Dan Campbell for the great job I think he's done. When you look at it, and the players we have, 2016, hopefully we can stay undefeated, but at least really perform at what we really think the level the Miami Dolphins should be performing at. But I really believe I'm committed to winning, Super Bowls, and that's why I own the team. And that for those who stay, we're going to be winning Super Bowls. If you look at our organization today, and you've seen what we've done, from every aspect except on the playing field, we're probably the first-class organization in the National Football League. You can see the stadium and what's going on there. You can see the attendance. We were sold out for every game. You can see where we're going, in every direction of that. And my commitment is there to really take us to really winning Super Bowls.
Wow.
Yeah, well, he's right about that. They're a first-class organization from top to bottom, except on the football field. You can make the same. You can make the same statement about the Giants.
Yeah.
That doesn't show problem. Yeah, we got a good direction with the stadium and stuff. And it's like, okay, but the stadium doesn't help you win football games.
I know. Who's gonna be the next coach of the Dolphins, man? Nick Saban?
I don't care.
Nick Satan?
It don't matter.
Tom Coughlin?
It doesn't matter. I used to have some hope, but oh my god, I've just learned the whole time I've been watching. I just learned how it all.
Mike Pettin got fired from the Cleveland Browns. Jim Tomasula got fired from the 49ers. Tom Coughlin resigned from the Giants. I'm sure there's going to be a couple more.
Yeah, Tom Coughlin says he's still open to coaching. Hey, maybe how the Jets and the Giants share the same stadium.
Yeah.
Maybe Tom Coughlin and walked by Tannenbaum a couple times. Maybe they'll bring Coughlin in here.
It's breaking news. I'm reading here on Wednesday. There's going to be an announcement from Major League Baseball that Mike Piazza into the Hall of Fame.
Yay.
The Baseball Hall of Fame. Good. Mike Piazza, good guy. I knew him personally.
Ooh.
Well, not personally as a friend, but knew him from a club I used to work at, and good guy, very good guy. I think he deserves it. He's probably the best, or not probably, he is the best home run hitting catcher ever to play in the majors. All right. I think that's it, buddy. Great job, Mikey Mike, on producing the show. I'd like to thank Louis Chacon, who runs 247miami.tv. Thanks to Troy Hall, college football expert, the mayor, left-handed on Twitter. Thanks for him for his expertise in the NFL and also in the NBA. Also, we'd like to thank Connecticut School of Broadcasting for letting us hang here in the beautiful. Is it Fellatio or Palatial? You ever heard of that word? Studios?
Fellatio?
Sid Rosenberg used to say Fellatio or Palatial, whatever it is.
Isn't that
your mind's in the gutter?
Yeah, my mind's in the gutter.
But thanks to Connecticut School of Broadcasting for letting us broadcast here. And speaking of Sid Rosenberg, he was let go from 640 Sports, man. I used to listen to him.
He's always being let go.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
But this time not for his not for problems, not for off the field problems.
Oh no.
I think it's some budget wise. I don't know the whole story, but sad to see Sid Rosenberg. I know he's going to go somewhere else and do really good because I used to listen to him.
Yeah, I used to listen to him, and he does do a good job. But when I was keeping track of him,
he went from sports to politics, but he still did a little bit of sports here and there. But he's just a good talent.
Yeah, he's a great talent, but he's always getting fired for off the field.
Well, he used to. He did rehab.
I know, but he did rehab and he cleaned up for a while, and then he got I think he got a DUI or something.
Yeah, he did.
Got fired a couple years ago.
All right, catch the show on Facebook, John Ech Show, Twitter, John Ech Show, Instagram, John Ech Show. You catch Mikey Mike on Facebook. What's their? How do we search? Just search Mike Hernandez.
Dude, that's my personal Facebook.
That's
page.
the best one.
No.
Do it, please. No. He's the funniest guy on Facebook. He writes the best quotes, and he's like He has this type of what do you do? Like what do you call that when you play that the me you? What is that? What is that called?
I don't know. I don't know when I write or like silly instances about my daily life.
You put me. Can
little
I date you?
anecdotes.
Yeah, like something like that.
I write it pretty good. I like that's why I like Facebook more. I get to write better.
Yeah,
like Instagram, I don't take pictures. I'm not a picture guy.
Today's show was thank God the Dolphins season's over. The theme of the show and the subtopic was we're gonna get Mike Hernandez a girlfriend in 2016.
Okay, next show. I'll give you an update on my love life.
Every show you gotta give us an update on your love life.
All
right. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. Anything else before we leave, Mikey Mike?
Anything else? Oh my God, I don't know.
Go Dolphins!
Okay. One last note. I just think whenever Stephen Ross opens his mouth to a media to the media, he just sounds like an idiot.
Oh,
he really does. I mean,
what else are you gonna say?
In 2016.
That's
okay.
stupid. That was stupid.
Oh my God,
that was stupid.
Jesus Christ.
All right, peace.
Masita Rica is here from The Fix at 6. You can catch a new episode every
Check 1 2. I hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
The Dolphins select quarterback Dan Marino of Pittsburgh.
Touchdown Miami. That is a new Miami record. 23 touchdown passes for Dan Marino.
Rebound Wade. The Miami Heat
championship in franchise history. A liner, left Daddy's glove into center field. The Florida Marlins have won the World Series.
You want to talk sports? You logged on to the right place. The John Ech Show on 247miami.tv.
Oh, look at him get the ice blocked by the tight end Sims, and he's off to the races. Going deep. Oh, he's got Jennings. What a catch and what a throw. They beat Leonard Johnson.
The Dolphins select quarterback Dan Marino of Pittsburgh. The Dolphins select quarterback Dan Marino of Pittsburgh.
Touchdown, Miami.
Show on 247miami.tv.
So nervous there, but we got it
That's
through.
what happens when you have 3 weeks off.
I think it was 2 weeks off, but we had to. We had to celebrate Christmas,
Holidays, family.
celebrate New Year's, family time. But I'm happy to be back. Welcome to all who are listening right now, right here on 247miami.tv. You can also listen on YouTube. As soon as you log on to 247miami.tv, we're live on YouTube, and also if
have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, which they usually have, I think.
Yeah.
Like over the past couple of years.
traditionally they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought they were going to come to play and beat up on the Dolphins, but at the same time, as the game went on, they just kept running the ball and running the ball and running the ball. And I was like, okay, that's smart because the Dolphins' rush defense is pretty awful this year. But even in 3rd and long situations, I think in the first half there were 3 3rd and long situations, like 3rd and 10,
Yeah.
and 3rd and 8, and I think one of them was like 3rd and 15.
Mhm.